It's a windy day today, and I watched it stirring up the waters of the river. And since this lesson came back to me pretty hard in the past week, I figured I'd share this one. So please, you share to keep these stories alive. The story is the lesson of the river. So once when the world was younger, there was a nation that lived beside the river, and they called themselves the river people. They worked with the river, they lived from the river, they learned the lessons of the river, and it is how they lived their life. All the young women had a coming of age ceremony at the appropriate time. And until they came of age, they wore their hair in double braids down their chest. When they became women, then they could let their hair loose or braid it in one long, beautiful braid down their back. One day, this young woman was time to come of age, and the whole village celebrated. She was wise for her years. And so the women of the village took her up to this beautiful plateau right above the river. And they brought their drums, and the women sang their songs. Listen to your waters. Listen to the river. The river is life. And her mother and her auntie unbraided her long, beautiful, shining black hair, and the wind came and swept it all around her. Oh, she was so happy. She was so full of joy. Time to take her place among the women of the village. And they led her to the edge of the plateau. Looking down, she saw the incredible Mother River flowing. Oh, and she smiled as the sun shone on her beautiful hair. And then all of a sudden, she found herself being shoved right off the edge of the cliff and falling, dropping, splashing, hitting the water hard. She didn't know what had happened. Am I being rejected? Am I not able to be a woman of the village? What did I do? Oh, and the river was cold. It shocked her system as it swept her away. And she tumbled. She tried to fight. She tried to swim so hard. Fear and terror flooded her body. She was choking as the water flooded into her lungs, coughing and sputtering. She tried to fight her way to the side of the river, her body smashing into rocks as she went. And she realized, I'm gonna die. I am drowning and there is nothing I can do. And in that moment, as she realized that she could not fight the river, she heard the drums once again. Listen to your waters. Listen to the river. And she heard, stop fighting. And with hurt and fear in her heart, she realized that, yes, this fight was fruitless. And so she surrendered. And the moment she surrendered, her body floated up to the top of the water. She relaxed into the river and allowed Mother River to carry her away. And when she did, the waters of the river moved her around the rocks, and she just let go. The sound and power of the river beating in her ears. Full surrender to the river. And she realized in her surrender, the flow of the river was keeping her safe. And it carried her downstream as she just looked up at the sky and the clouds and the shining sun, wondering what was to become of her. Until suddenly she felt the soft sandy beach under her back as the river rolled her up onto the beach. And as she lay there, sputtering, panting, wondering what was next, many people from neighboring villages came out to the beach, and they were clapping and they were singing and they were drumming and they were calling her praises, and they picked her up and raised her off the beach, embraced her and said, yes, yes, You have learned, surrendered, and brought in the lesson of flow, the power of the water, the power of the river into your being. Now you may take your place as a woman of the village and live your life in love, comfort, safety, security, and service. And once again, her heart swelled with joy because now she understood. When she was pushed off the cliff and found herself falling and drowning, it was not because she was rejected, had done anything wrong, or failed in any way. It was because the value of the lesson that the villagers and the river had to teach her was above anything that could be given in words alone. The lesson of the river is such a powerful one in our lives, because so many times when we struggle and fight against change, against the flow of what we see coming, against what might be happening in our lives, what might be unfolding, whether that is loss or hurt or betrayal, that fight can bring us so much pain because there is no fighting the universe. And the universe is not beholden to you to make sense. But when we can let go and trust, when we can listen to the inner voice, it is amazing how that current of life, of who we truly are on the inside, can move us around so many obstacles and will bring us to the appropriate landing place. How many times I have found myself fighting against the current, fighting, trying to get where it is that I think I'm supposed to go, fighting to get what I think it is that I want. And when I let go and say, okay, what will come, will come. What will be. Because obviously the fighting is not doing anything. All it is creating is conflict and hurt and fear and anxiety and sometimes outright despair because I'm not getting where I want to get. I let go. I trust in spirit. And it takes me many times to places I could not have ever imagined I would even want to go, where I would enjoy being, and yet there I am. And I know, because this has happened so many times in my life, that is when I surrender, when I trust the divine will above my own, that is when things are revealed. That is when I stop being smashed up against the obstacles in life, when I stop being crushed against my own internal blockages, because I listen and I'm willing to look within and at the very least wonder why it is that that block is there, if not outright go within to say enough is enough. How is fear itself keeping me safe? Or do I only think the fear is keeping me safe? Perhaps it is not the fear. Perhaps it is the wisdom that is keeping me safe, so I can let go of that fear and trust in something much greater than my programming or the learnings of my past. So much love, relatives. It is much greater than just go with the flow, because there must be intention and there must be listening to our own inner voice, listening to the waters in your body that speak to you just as the waters of the river do. So have a beautiful day. Maybe get yourself in some water today. See you soon.